I saw the version of Windows. It says build 10,214. It says 2015 here, okay? Then what I did, I opened the Google, and I wrote here, and here it is. It says install rsat tools on Windows 10 version 1809 and later. Okay, so that means September of 2018. Well, my version is 2015. Okay, I'm just opening you guys to have the link for the movie. Okay, so it shows here how to do it. It's implemented into the Windows 10 version itself. Now, because I have the version which is 2015, as you see here, okay, what I needed to do is to go and to write down this thing now in Google, and afterwards, here it is, what is giving me. When I write it down in Google, it's sending me to rsat for Windows 10 now available, and it says that's before, okay? And I will click here on the link. I'll choose to download it on English. And I told you guys you could download the both versions, so it's for 64-bit, this one and this one. You could download both of them. And basically, once you download both, you could try both of them. I would try actually the first one, this one. And then you do next, it will download it, and here it will show to you how to install them, the install instructions. Okay, you click on the install instructions, and you're gonna see how to do it. So you could see how to do on Windows 10 October 2018 update or later, and prior to October. That's my case, okay? So in my case, I already, wherever I download it, I drag it and drop it to my virtual machine, okay? I click twice on it, and now it's asking me to install the update. So I'm gonna click yes, install the update. My Windows Server 2016 has been cloned, so I'm going to start it now. Okay, and the other thing is that finally it has been downloaded, the updates on Windows 10, which is related with the Windows Remote Server Administration tools. And I'm going to click accept on this. Okay, I will accept it. And the installation will proceed now. Now, by the way, once again, I already downloaded it for you. If you go to the our network shared storage, Tableau, my name, T01, here the both files has been downloaded for you. So if you want to use them, be my guest, right? You could download them from here. The rsat 1709 and 1803. Now, at the moment, I'm installing the earliest, the 1803. Here it is. That's what I'm installing. If it doesn't work, I will try the other one too. Okay, so I'm going to actually copy the other one just to have it installed there. So I'm going to copy it the same way like before. If it doesn't work like this, I'm just going to copy it to my desktop on my real machine. Okay, I'll put it here on the desktop. And once it's copied from my virtual machine, I would go to my file folder. And I could download it from my shared folder here. Remember, I shared my desktop. And because the guest edition has been installed, I will be seeing it. Here it is, the desktop on my network location. I'm seeing it, okay? So I will open it. Now, once I open my shared folder, I could find out my file here, the other one. I could copy it and paste it to my desktop. Here it is. So that's another way to do it, right? Interaction between our real machine and our virtual machine. Here it is. The other file is copied. I will see if this one doesn't work properly. I obviously will install the other. Guys, I need silence because I cannot. Now, while I'm waiting this updates to be installed, I will start my Windows server. Once again, I'll click Input, Keyboard, Control-Alt-Delete. I'll put my password. So we don't want to manage servers directly from the servers. It's a security breach. You know, it's not a good thing here to access. After this, also you could have on your environment 10,000 servers. Okay, you're not gonna go and access any one of them. Some of them may be on different locations. So that's why you use this remote server administration tool on your laptop or on your technician's, let's say, computer, where you're sitting down with a client operating system like Windows 10. You sit there, you install them, and you access all of them, all these servers through these tools. I'm gonna show it to you how to do it. Okay, so that's why we use the remote server administration tools for security reasons, for reasons to be more efficient, as well as they will be with you all the time, right? They're on your laptop. Now on the Windows Server, as you remember, guys, the Server Manager is opening. That's the most important program which we're gonna use to navigate and to do things on the server itself. If you remember, I already on the movies here, I already did something about this, and this is here into the part which is called Server 2016, some places and storage. I already showed all of this here. Okay, now let's try this on the client. Okay, let's create a user on the client. So I'll click on File Manager here. It's already open. I'll go to this PC. I'll click right on it, and I'll do Manage. If you remember, we did this already, and I showed it to you. It's some of the previous movies you have it. It will open the management console here of the Windows 10. Now, just to remind you, it's on the other movie which I just showed it to you. When you click on Manage on the server, okay, when you click on the Manage, if you click on the tools, the second one, computer management, when we click on it, that's what we access locally, our computer management, the local computer management on the server too. And it will look exactly like I'm seeing on the left side of my client. Okay, it will open exactly the same thing what I'm seeing here on the client. So basically, now if I go to where it says local users and groups, in the users, and I could create users. First, I'm seeing all the users which are here, right? I see all the users which are in my created already. Now the groups here, the groups actually are, we need the groups so to organize our users by features, okay? And the groups are installed here by default. I mean, these groups, what I'm seeing here, are installed when I install the operating system. So the operating system installed them, and you could learn about what they do here as well as when you Google it. So you're gonna know which group does whatever. If I would like to create my own groups, right click, new group, and there are ways me to create it. That's not the point in that course now. So these groups, once again, they organize lots of users. If I have, let's say, 1,000 users, I want they to do the same thing. Well, I create a group, I assign this feature to the group, and afterwards I just put all of these 1,000 users in this group, and afterwards all of these features are assigned to all of these users. It's just me to work fast with the thing. So I have here 5 users actually. I have the administrator, I have my username, which I created when I started the Windows. The root user or the administrator user by default has been disabled. So when you install any client operating system of Windows, lately the Windows 10, administrator always will be disabled. Well, in my case, it's enabled because I went to the properties yesterday with the other group and I unchecked the account is disabled, which was checked. Okay, now I'm checking also password never expired. I want it to expire. Now you see the guest account, it has a small arrow on the picture here of the user. Right click properties, and now you see the account is disabled. Here how you could recognize visually how the accounts are disabled on Windows. So administrator by default is done like this. I just enabled it yesterday with the other group. Now, if I would like to create a new user, I just right click on the here somewhere on the white space, and I'll do new user. And I could create a user father, let's say. Okay, and that's the username. So that's the name I'm gonna use to access it. Full name will be father with capital. So that's what I'm gonna see. But the username will be father, this one. I could describe what it is. I could put a password. I'm supposed to put a password. Because it's a client operating system of Windows, I could use short and non-secure password. If you remember, we spoke about this in the server operating system. You cannot do this. Okay, I will say user. I don't need the user must change the password, and I'll just do create. Now it will open the second window, which is waiting for me another user to be created. Well, I don't need another one. I'll say close. And now the father is here. Again, the same concept. Right click. I could change the password. So when I do set password and proceed, I could change with new one. Notice that there is the old one is not there. Well, it knows that I already connected to the machine as administrator, and it doesn't care what is my password. It allows me right away to change the password for all of the users if I want. For now, I'm not gonna do it. If I go to the properties, we see whatever we did up to now, everything's okay. Now, member of, you see, it's member of the part of the group of users. So let's close this. Let's go to the groups and let's the user see what it says. When we click here, and it says here, users are prevented from making accidental or intentional system-wide changes and can run most applications. So basically what the user could do is just to run application. That's all. And not all of them. Some of them which needs elevated access, or also called root access or administrative access, you cannot do it as user. So this is very, very weak group. Let's see what it says for the administrators group. Administrators have complete and unrestricted access to the computer and the domain. So these are the most powerful. That's the most powerful group. So if you would like someone to do everything, that's the group it's supposed to belong. And let's see about the remote desktop users, these guys here. Okay, so remote desktop users, members in this group are granted the right to log on remotely. Okay, that's important because we're gonna do our father now, which I just created. We're gonna do member of this group too. So I'm gonna right click on this again. I'll do properties. I'll go to member of. If I would like to add additional group here, now once again, notice that the groups has two small people there, not only one as the users. Okay, so that's how I'm gonna recognize the groups visually. I'll do add. It will open this select groups window. I'll click advanced button here, and it will open again the select group, but this time with advanced view, and I'll click find now, and it will find out all the groups and users which I'm having on my computer at the moment here. And I'm gonna go a little bit down and I'm gonna find out the remote desktop users. Here it is. I'll click twice on it. It will appear here in this enter the objects names to select window. I'll do OK, and it will appear now here in my member of window. Now I just need to click OK, and now father has also ability to this. Why I want this? Let's go to the server. So if I would like to remotely connect to the server, Windows has a proprietary protocol which is called RDP, Remote Desktop Protocol. Okay, this Remote Desktop Protocol allows us to remote to different computers. Now by default, when you connect from client to client or from server to client, I'm talking only about Microsoft, you have only one active user. So that means if someone is logged in there, and if you try to log in with a different username or even with the same username, it won't allow you. It will log off the other user. Well, it will ask the other user, do you want to allow this person to allow? When he clicks the button or she clicks the button, then the user accessing remotely the computer. If you access from a client or server to another server, then you have two people who might be in the same time. So one person who is physically connected to the server, so basically he's like me on the laptop at the moment, and someone who connecting this server remotely, but it's supposed to be different user. If it's the same user, it will kick it out. Or if it's a user with a smaller, let's say, it will be less than administrator, and the administrator is trying to access it, the administrator will kick out the user. Okay, so it's a good idea to know this. Now, you're gonna say, okay, how we do if we are in production, 10 people or administrator needs to access to the same server and so on and so forth. Well, there is a way, you just pay for this. Well, Microsoft is proprietary company and they selling their products. So basically they have this type of service. So you could buy it from them, and afterwards many people could access remotely the same server. Even some of them could be with the same user. Okay, it could work even with the same user in the same time. Okay, so it's just a matter of license. So as you see on the right side, I have my server, and I could go to the local server here. If you remember, we went on the movie called Server 2016, some places and storage. We went through all of this function here, and I'm going to remind you this: the remote desktop enabled. Now, this is one of the prerequisites. People from other computers to access remotely this computer, okay, or another computer. It's supposed to be allowed remote connection to this computer. Okay. Now, if this one is checked, allow connection only from computers running remote desktop with network level authentication, which is the recommended one, it's more restrictive. In that case, only few users with certain rights will be able to do it. That's why I unchecked it, because by default it's checked. I unchecked it so everyone at the moment to be able to access. Now, when I say everyone, is still not true. Only people who are who are member of the remote desktop users or administrators like Sen, let's say. Okay, either administrators or at least to be remote desktop users group. Only these people, they're able to access remotely computers. It's the same for Windows clients. It's the same wherever I'm showing you on that site on the server. It's the same for the Windows client as well. So first thing is this: the remote to be allowed. Second, you to have a user who is at least in the group of the remote desktop users, or better if it's an administrator. And the third thing, which is very important, is the firewall. It's the same, obviously, on the client and on the server. So if I go here to the server and I click here where it says Windows Firewall, now you see my firewall is totally off. So if I would like to stop it, that's what I do. I just go here and stop it. Now, we said that we do here only in this very lab because we're very new in the Windows and we don't want to, to learn about the firewalls at the moment. But you could do turn on Windows Firewall and say notify me when Windows Firewall blocks a new app. So if remote desktop application is trying to access from Windows client the Windows server, eventually it will prompt you to do something, and you could allow it then. Now, I don't want even this, and that's why I completely shut down the firewall. So this is the third very important thing, supposed to be manipulated in a way so you guys to be able successfully to access remotely a computer from another computer. Okay, as well as I just showed it to you how to access, how to create users. Well, if you would like to delete the users like this mother here, very easy, you just click delete, you confirm, and that's all. Okay, so basically that's how it works. Now, if I would like to access all of my prerequisites on the server has been done, and actually if I would like to access remotely from my client to access the server, well, what I need to do, well, first of all, I need to be sure that my installation is completed, but I will let it wait a little bit. So if I would like to access from my Windows 10, which is on my left side, if I would like to access my server, well, I need to have a user, the same user, at least with the, I need to have the credentials of the user administrator, at least here, okay, which to access the computer from my client, okay? So I need to know which are the users here, okay? As you see, I have administrator on. I could create another one. So if I create here, if I do a new user, I could create mother here, okay? I could put the full name mother. I could skip this, it's not a problem. I'll put the password of welcome one with capital W. That's the standard which I'm using here for the labs. Okay, I will say all of this to be allowed. I'll do create. I'll close it. Mother will appear. Right click. I'll do properties. And then I'm going to go to member of. Now, notice that there are more tabs here. Well, it's normal because this is a server. Okay, I'll go member of. I'll do add. I'll do advanced. Find now. And I'm going to navigate. And I'll choose the remote desktop users. Okay, I'll do OK. I'll do OK. And the mother has been created. Okay. Now, if I would like to access, the from this computer remotely, if I would like to access this computer, what I need to do first to check the prerequisites. So very fast, I'll go to the server manager, all services, and I'll see that local server, and I'm going to see that my firewall is off, as well as my remote desktop is enabled. Okay, and then I have at least one user, which basically is having a remote desktop administrator inside, and I know the password for this user. Now, how I'm going to find out this A/SN or B/SN? In that case, I would like to do it like B/SN. So how I'm going to find out this? The easiest way is to click here and to write down CMD to open the command prompt. Well, actually, I'm seeing it. And to write down who am I. This is one of the commands you need to remember. So when I do who am I see the name of the computer, and I see the name of the user who is logged in at the moment. If I would like to see some more options for who am I, so to make something different for who am I could repeat the command with up arrow, okay? I could also use the back arrow. If I close the window, actually the history, how they call this thing, will disappear. It's in Windows, it's not saved, okay? But at least for this session, I could use it. I could use then empty space, / and a question mark. And if I click here, it will give me all the possible additional options I could use with / as you see, and I could see some examples here also. So that's what I'm going to do. I will click up arrow. If I click it again, I'll go back to the first command. You see, I could go back with the down arrow, and I could check now. I could change now the question mark to all. Okay, click enter, and actually it shows me all the users and all the tokens which will be ever created and accessed here. You see, and it shows the SID, which is very important in here. It shows the security ID of every of the users which is created in my server. Okay, and also it says the privilege information like privilege names, description, state, and so on and so forth. So most of them, as you see, are disabled. I have some of them enabled also, like this one. like this one. Okay, and it says what could do with this one. Okay, so once again, let's repeat this command, who am I only, and I'm gonna see the source administrator. So that would be the way I'm gonna access this computer. So that's my third important thing which I need to know. So I'm gonna go to my client, I'll click on the start button or charm also, and I'll write down remote. Now there is a command for this, we're gonna skip it for now, remote desktop connection. I'll click on remote desktop connection and it will appear here. Okay, that's what I'm gonna use. Now I need another information here, so another command. If I do CLS, which means clear the screen, when I click on it, you see my screen will be cleared. Okay, and now I'm gonna write down IP config. So this ipconfig command will allow me to see my IP address of my server, which is 10.0.2.10. Okay, and as well as a default gateway and so on and so forth. If I do the same command, if I repeat with up arrow, empty space slash and question mark, I would see all the available commands, all available options actually to this command. Okay, and it says also how to use it and so on and so forth. And after this, you're gonna find out some very useful examples. And if I repeat again this command and I put all, I'm gonna see here, this is my IP version 4 address. I'm gonna see the default gateway, which is something you're gonna learn in the next courses, my DHCP server, again, in the next courses today we're going to show it to you, and the DNS servers, which is also, as well as my physical or also called hardware or MAC address, which we've been talking about before. Now when I'm gonna connect this computer to anyway, I have two choices. Another very important thing is, well, since I'm gonna connect one computer to another, I need to check their IP addresses, so to see where they are, if they're on the same street or they're on the different street. If they're on a different street, I need to do something on the router, so from one street to go to another street. So I need to give you a green light, right? If they're on the same street, everything's fine. I don't need to do anything. So that's what I'm going to check now. I'm going to do ipconfig on that side too. And I'm going to see 10.0.2.15, and I see the subnet mask. The IP address always go with the subnet mask. So I need to see when this is the subnet mask, 3250s, 255s, I supposed to see the first three digits exactly the same. So 10.0.2 and 10.0.2, that means when I have 255, 255, 255, 0 here as well, that means my computers are on the same network, okay? And a very important prerequisite is the IP address itself to be different on the both. So before you start, you need to be sure on your machine settings, network, the NAT network is allowed on both machines. Okay? Like mine. If when you choose the NAT network, you see there is two NATs. One is NAT, the other one is NAT network. Up to now, you're supposed to be on NAT only. You need to choose the NAT network. If it's providing you with an error, if you see an error below, then you need to go to the file, preferences, network, and you need to choose. Here, you're not going to have anything. So you need to click on the plus sign, and this NAT network will appear. And then you're going to go back, and you're going to be able to do it. Okay, I just recorded it so you guys to know. Okay, so when I see two different IP addresses from the same network, that means I have the switch here, and the next check is to ping one from the other. So I'm gonna ping, that's the command, ping 10.0.2.10 on the other side. I see the end. Oops. And if I click enter, here it is, the ping successful. And I need to ping on that side the other one as well. So CLS to clear my screen. And I do ping 10.0.2.15. Here it is, awesome. I could check if the Google is accessible, right? I could do ping Google by name, actually, .com. Here it is. That means I have internet. Now, there is another way. If you don't see ping reply on this Google, let's say, or something which is by name in the internet, you could do ping 8.8.8.8, which is a very well-known public DNS server of Google. And if it's replying, that means you have something missing, which most of the time is called DNS server, which you're going to learn in the next. It's not set it up properly. Okay, so we have all of this. We need to check also something else. We need to check our MAC address. So we do ipconfig, and here's the MAC address. That's the MAC address. And on that site, I'm going to do the same. ipconfig/all. Here's the MAC address. Now, I need to be sure the MAC addresses to be different. I see the last two digits, they're different. I don't need to check anything else. Now, in the same network, if you would like to be able to connect one device to another, the MAC address, the IP address, and the name supposed to be different. So the name here, there is a way to check it. If I do host name, here's the name. It's called test. If I check this one, well, by the way, I could see it here as well. On the top, you see host name, it says it's called source. Okay? So my names are different. And there is another prerequisite, which is very, very common if you clone something. Okay? When you clone and you use together with the other one, the clone, together with the source, you use the clone, there is something which is called the SID number, the SID number, the security ID, where you could check the both. Well, in my case, one is client, the other one is server. Obviously, I just installed them, and they're different for sure. But just to show it to you how it works, basically, I need to open the command prompt as an administrator. So to open it as administrator, either click on this one, go to the command prompt, right-click, and run as administrator. Now, but if you don't have the administrator password, like in your real computers, then you need to pin it to the taskbar. In my case, it says unpin because it's already there. When you pin it to the taskbar, you click Control and Shift, right-click on it, and here, run as a different user. I'll click Run as administrator now. Now it says here administrator, and I will repeat the command, which was, if you remember, WMIC, user account, get name, comma, SID. And here the user account. You see all of them connected to, these are the security identifier. I'm gonna need to do the same on that side. Well, obviously they will be different once again because I installed these computers. But if I would have cloned one of them from the other, they would be the same. So after this, I need to do something which is called sysprep, which we are not going to do today, so to make the SID different. So I'll do again the same command, which is WMIC, user account. See now, if I check the administrator, well, right away I see it's a different one. You see here you have 1493 wherever, here you have 550. So these are different users. If I was checking the clone of the Windows 10 at the same moment without doing the sysprep, I would have seen the same for the administrator. Okay, and this might prevent me from connecting. That's the fourth reason we need to check actually before doing everything with the connection related. So in my case, once all of this is done, I could write down here 10.0.2.10. That was the IP address, if I'm not mistaken, of this computer, right? ipconfig. Here it is, 10.0.2.10. And I'm gonna do connect. Okay, now you see it says domain below. You see, it's asking me what would be the domain. So what I do now is, who am I? So wherever I see here, that's what I'm putting here. I see source. Notice when I do the backslash, what will happen with the domain. Okay, it shows the name of the computer. Now, notice if I do dot and backslash, you see now it says the name of my computer. That's the way you guys could do the thing. Here it is, host name. That's the name of my computer, test. Okay, that's the way you guys to find out the name of a computer easily if you don't remember it and if you need it. And if I do workgroup backslash, well, it says domain workgroup now. So everything what is before the backslash will be shown here. If you see it already, you don't need to write it down. Then you put only the name. That's the case when you log into these computers. You see below domain colon ISIMTL. That's why you don't put ISIMTL backslash, because it's already there. Okay. So in my case, I'll put here the source backslash administrator. Well, let's see the other user. What was the other user? We created the mother, right? Let's do mother. So it's supposed to be user on the other side, right? And the password for mother was welcome 1. I'll do OK. When I see this, it's saying that there is an attempt to access the computer, and I need to. It's a certificate which is self-produced, and because it's not paid, it's not from authority you believe, you trust. It's asking you, do you trust this certificate? Well, I trust, that's me who I'm doing this thing. So I will say, don't ask me for this thing again. I'll do yes. And here it is. Okay. Now the other user is mother. Now notice on my server, let's see who is logged in, right? At the moment, administrator is logging. I could see this with who am I command as well. Here it is. That's the administrator. Okay. So let's see what will happen. You see, I'm still logging on this computer. Okay. Administrator is still logging. And if I move this guy up, and if I create a file here, new text file, okay, nothing happened on the left side. Why? Well, because mother is here connected. Here it is. If I see here on the top, and if I hover over it, you see that's mother who is connected to this computer. Well, in the same time, here, locally, the administrator is. That's what I explained in the beginning. The Windows Server allows you additional user to do this. Okay, only one additional. So one which is locally and one which accessing the computer remotely. It's supposed to be a different one. Okay, now let's try the vice versa thing. So I'm gonna close my remote connection. I see it's a remote connection on the top. Well, by the way, if you would like to do for me this thing, the easiest way is now to click right here, to do new, text document, and to write down your name. In my case, I'll put a Sengros down. Conclude. So I'm gonna close the remote connection, very easy. I'll click on the top here, and I'll do OK. Now, wherever I was talking, wherever I said, guys, about the profiles, let's check it now. Okay, so let's go to the folder here, to the file manager. Let's go this PC. Let's click C. Let's go users. Well, and here's the mother. Okay, here's the mother where it is. Well, it's asking me for permission. I'm an administrator of this computer. It's supposed to be able to get it. If I go to the desktop now, if I would like to access from the server the client, so at the moment, who is connected here? It's connected to send. Okay, now let's try to connect with the father or with the administrator, doesn't matter. So I'm gonna click here. I'll do remote again. Here's the remote desktop connection. And now I'm gonna write down 10.02.15 here, right? And I'm gonna show the option, and actually that's, let's see again the name. I think it was test, yes. But instead of mother, in that case, let's see which users we have in here. Let's open them. Mother, let's put father now. Okay, if I do connect, well, it's asking me for credential. Now, it won't work like this because you see it says test. Well, it will be test. Yeah, it will work like that. So I could put the password, which was something else than welcome one. And now it's accessing it. But let's see what will happen. Another user is signing in. If you continue, they will be disconnected. Do you want to sign in anyway? Okay. As I mentioned, only one entity could be logged in the same time on a client machine of Windows. I'll do yes. Now it will ask this user, do you allow? It will tell yes, no problem. And now the father will connect this machine. Here's the father now, okay? And I could put the password for the father, and I'm gonna access it. Okay, what do now, we're gonna create something which is called a share folder. Now there are basically four different ways to create a share folder. For you guys, you need to know only one of them. One of them is if you click and you do PowerShell. That's the scripting language of Windows, which is kind of programming language. If you run it as administrator, there are commands there you could use and you could do it. For us, that's not interesting in this course. You just need to know that there is such thing. The other way is to open the command prompt and to use the net use command. You just need to know this command like this, nothing else. And if you do like that, basically, you're going to see, obviously, how you could use this command. That's all. The third way, if I go to this PC, right-click and do manage, well, because that's a server, I need to click tools, and I need to go to computer management, which is already open, actually. Here it is. I need to go, well, by the way, if you check the both, let me just log out of this guy. So if you check both, this one and on the client, okay, if you check both of this computer management, you see they look very similar. Well, here there are some more stuff, which obviously because it's a server, you have a little bit more advanced thing, but it's very important to mention what it says here. Computer management local. Here it is again, computer management local. That's what you do only locally. Remember this thing, the workgroup thing. That's what we do, not the domain thing. Everything what's related with the domain, we need to do from here on the servers. Okay, so if I come here to the computer management console, okay, and if I go to shared folders, I could see all the shares which are allowed at the moment here, as well as I could create my new. Well, this one you need to know as well. I'm not gonna ask you to do anything with this. The way you need to know it, if I would like to create a share on my server, I could go this PC, C drive, right click and create new folder, which I'm gonna call shared, because I'm gonna share stuff inside. That's why we use the sharing folders. That's why we share folders. Everyone to get there and eventually to copy paste stuff. The same concept like we use the Tableau here and the other ones. Okay? So now if I would like to share it, I do right click on it. I'll go after this and I'll do properties. Now I need to go and do sharing here, you see on the top. And then I'm gonna do advanced sharing. I need to click share this folder. Now the share name might be different. So I call that folder shared, but I could call it ABC. Okay, now in that case, it will be allowed only by ABC. And if I put a $sign, this folder will be hidden. So basically, people from the other side won't see it. Okay, so let's try it without $sign first. Now, there is something more. I need to click on permission for now. This permission allows different users, so I could add users the same way as before. But I could use wherever is everyone, they said. That's the group of everyone, all the users. And I could say allow on full control for now. After this, I could control much more precise with other thing here. And I'll click OK after this. Click OK. Now, there are security, which I could do more refined access, but that you're going to do on the server operating system, not now. Okay, so I'm going to just click close on this. And notice now my shared folder is actually, it's already shared. If I go right click this PC and do manage, well, no, it's not there. I need to go here and do tools, computer management. And if I go to shared folders, shares, well, you see ABC now is there, and it says C shared, and it says how many connection I have there. Okay, now if I would like to access from this computer this folder, I'll open my file manager. I'll use something which is called UNC. You're going to see in your lectures what exactly that means. And I'm going to write down like this, // and the IP address of the other computer, which is 10.0.2.10, if you remember. And I need to say now ABC. Well, let's try shared first. Let's try shared. Doesn't allow me access now. Okay, now let's try with ABC. Let's check and change the ABC now. Oops, I'm right there. Okay, even though the folder is called shared, well, that's the name we're accessing. Okay, now the other thing here, if I open now the folder here, shared, and if I do right click and create a new file, well, I'm gonna see it here right away because I'm there, basically. Okay, so that's how you guys do this type of thing. You see the installation has been completed of my remote administrative tools. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'll do restart now. Now while waiting this computer to restart, I'm gonna show it to you how to install the server roles. So on the local server where you see, okay, you go to the dashboard and you click on the add roles and features. Then you do next. Okay, well, it shows here several IP addresses because most probably we have several network cards. Let's double check. Yes, I have 2 network cards, that's why I'm seeing 2 addresses. For now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just right click on this and I'm gonna disable it. I want only 1. Okay, and afterwards I'll click on this sign to refresh. And once the refresh is done, I expect to see only 1 IP address here. So do cancel. Add roles and features. Next. Yeah, that's not the address I would like to see though. Now that's what I'm expecting to see. Okay, that's the address I'm expecting to see. Well, in your case, it won't happen because you have only 1 network card. For me, I just needed to find. Now, also, you're going to have additional page which you could skip. There is a check mark there you could skip. That's why I don't see it anymore. Now, here you click again next. Okay, now these are all the roles. That's what we said, the services which the servers providing us with. So basically, I want to check a role, which is the DHCP server here. When I click on it, I will be provided with feature. I need to add some features which supplements, which are giving more action to the roles. So I'm gonna click add features which are needed. I'll do continue. Well, the validation is because most probably of the networking card. I'll do also IIS, which is this one, the web server. Okay, again I need to add features. I'll do next. Again I need to you see here on the left side it says these are the features you need to confirm. Here I'm going to confirm them. I'm going to click next. Click next. Well, these are roles and services which will be installed additionally with the raw services which will be additionally installed to the web server by default. I'll click next. I don't have any other choice. And before to install, I'll say restart the server if needed automatically. And I'll do yes, and I'll click install. Okay, as you see, it's pretty straightforward. You just check next, next, next. That's all. Let's start this guy too. Okay, the features are installed. So my Windows 10 is back. What I need to do now is to go to Control Panel. So click on the Start button and do Control Panel. So start the Control Panel. I need to go to Programs and to the Program section here, and I need to say Turn Windows Features on or off. So when that's done, okay, you're gonna find out the Remote Server Administration tools there. You see them there, right? Here they are, Remote Server Administration tool, and you see, be sure everything's checked. Everything's checked like that. I'll click OK. Okay. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna click here. I'm gonna go and I'll do Control again, Control Panel. I'll go to a large icons view, and the first thing what I see here, the administrative tools. Now, if we haven't checked them before, but if you check them before, what they asking you in one of the labs, you're gonna see they significantly increases. That's a significant increase. Before this, there were only a few of them. Now you see a lot because the Remote Server Administration tool added the different ones. And let's see something here. Let's say Server Manager. You see the Server Manager here, right? So click on the Server Manager. And basically, it will open something very similar to the Server Manager on that side. Okay? And from this Server Manager, I eventually could add this one, as well as I would add other ones. So from my client, I could navigate and I could remotely manage servers. And as I mentioned in the beginning, these servers might be headless. They might be having no graphical interface. Doesn't matter to me. I'm going to see everything what I'm seeing on the other side. Okay? So if I do add other servers to manage, finding it. It's finding it because now it's in my resolver. Okay, that's why. Okay, otherwise I need to do something more. And I just click here to add it. Okay, I'll click OK. And basically when I have all of this installed, I'm gonna be seeing them here, like the DHCP, IIS, and all of this service. Now,